Movie analysis by JGar.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Titanic. I was rewatching Titanic the other day, and before I get to that, I remember as a kid in 1997, Titanic was getting ready for release in theaters. I was in second grade at the time, and I remember advertisements for Titanic everywhere. Commercials on TV all the time, posters everywhere you went. You could not get away from an ad for Titanic. It was heavily advertised, to say the least. I was reading some children's books about Titanic, Finding the Titanic, which had some pictures of the ship, and Titanic Lost and Found. I even did a poster presentation on Titanic Lost and Found for my second grade class that year. I was basically preparing for the movie by reading these books. Then the night arrived to see Titanic in a theater. My mom and I went to see the movie together in the theater. Since Mom and Dad hadn't talked to me about sex yet, Mom covered my eyes during the drawing scene and the sexuality scene. I saw those scenes eventually, let's not go into that. 3 hours and 14 minutes flew by. Revisiting it as a teenager, I thought more or less of it. I liked it as a kid though. I remember as a preteen, my dad got us DirecTV, back when DirecTV was this amazing new way to watch TV. One morning I was holding the DirecTV remote as I went through the channels. I pressed the guide button and I saw a movie Titanic airing on the channel. So I went to that channel thinking it was James Cameron's Titanic, and to my surprise it was actually the 1953 movie Titanic. So I was curious to see how the Titanic story was told at the time. I watched the movie and I thought it was fine. I admired the effort that went into it. Then when I was a teenager, getting heavily into film history, I saw a different Titanic movie, the 1958 movie, A Night to Remember. Now this was the Titanic movie that I loved. It felt like a documentary. It made you feel that you were observing the passengers getting through this tragedy. It made me think less of James Cameron's Titanic, especially with many of the same scenes occurring in each movie. Then again, I figured maybe the same scenes are happening in both movies because both movies are borrowing from actual events that took place during the actual sinking of the Titanic. My dislike for Avatar made me think even less of Titanic. I saw it again in college and felt in the middle on it. But recently, when I was making my NoFap video on finding the right church to help you be a better man, something about it was reminding me of Titanic. I don't know why, but I also felt that I should simply rewatch Titanic then. So I rewatched it, and honestly, it's a nice movie. It's nicely done. The behind-the-scenes featurettes make you appreciate the movie more, but the movie itself is a great watch. The true aspects of the movie are done amazingly, and the fictionalized love story carrying the movie works as well. Sure, the love story has corny lines, even feels preachy and awkward at times, but it's fine. I remember after seeing it, we all kept talking about Titanic, and how could we not? It was the most talked about movie before and after its release that year. Leonardo DiCaprio got this huge hot guy icon after Romeo and Juliet and this. Then I remember watching reruns of Growing Pains, a great show. And Leonardo DiCaprio was in the last season when he was a teenager. In that show, he played a poor street boy, much like his role in Titanic, and he did a great job on that show. I'm surprised that so many fans stopped watching Growing Pains at that last season. Now that Leonardo DiCaprio is a big star, now fans appreciate the last season of Growing Pains. Then when I was older, in college, the movie Revolutionary Road was getting ready for release in theaters. My mom and I saw that in the theater together, and since I was older, I saw the sexuality scene in that. Let's not go into that. Revolutionary Road was a great movie. It's hard not to look at that as an alternate timeline to Titanic, but it's a really great movie. But the main question, is Jack Dawson a bad influence? A bad influence on who? Can't really say. He has a sketchy past, not just the drawings, and he uses a lot of foul language, and that worried me when I was a kid. But he's not all about sex. Nickelodeon? I remember as a kid hearing that and thinking, Nickelodeon? The Nickelodeon channel? Yeah, and then much later my mom explained to me that he was talking about 5-cent theaters. I think it's a matter of whether or not he is the right man at the right time. He has a not-so-good past, probably because trouble is following him since he's in a lower class. But he's always got his suave looks going for him. But he has great knowledge and great experience. And he learns to redeem himself by applying his knowledge from his experience to this situation. And he becomes a better person through the situation, where he discovers what acts of service and protection are required once you find the true feelings of love and connection in a life-threatening tragedy. Just for fun, I would also like to point out that's Barry Dennen towards the end there. He also played Pontius Pilate in the 1973 movie Jesus Christ Superstar. So what do you think of Titanic? If you've seen the 1953 Titanic movie and the 1958 movie A Night to Remember, in addition, which Titanic movie is your favorite? Let me know in the comments section. Like and share if you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more videos, hit the bell if you want notifications, because I am creating for you. Have a great week and a great life, and always love yourself for who you are. Godspeed.